What's up with the squad? Back with another video. As y'all can see in the title what's going on here. Definitely have to check this video out. Definitely love when y'all send more and more videos for me to check out. Dude, apologize if it is shooting ads. Sometimes I like it though, you feel me? Other people, you know, gotta get paid too. But without further ado, other videos y'all want me to check out, make sure y'all email me LifeWithRecklezz@yahoo.com or DM me on Instagram, LifeWithRecklezz. Let's get in the video.
Well, while the world focuses on Israel and what happens there in the Middle East, the United States is still under a massive invasion, and it's getting worse. New estimates have 18,000 illegal immigrants pouring across the border in the United States every day. It was 15,000. Before that, it was 10,000. Now 18,000, could even be higher than that. Michael Yon is at the center of all of it in the Darien Gap in Panama, where, of course, these flows from Venezuela, from China, are pouring through the Darien Gap from Panama, and then they're put on buses and then driven right to the U.S. border. This invasion is getting worse. Michael joins us from Panama. Michael, it's just like totally being ignored, it seems, right now in the face of what's happening in Israel.
It is. That's why I haven't run off to Israel. I mean, if the United States dies, Israel dies by default. I mean, if our tree dies, they're just a small apple on a larger tree.
Right.
They're just gonna go. They're gonna be gone, as will Taiwan and so many others. Right. And so, actually, a career Border Patrol friend just sent me an article this morning with saying 18,000 known gotaways. Known gotaways are people that they actually picked up on sensors and that sort of thing. So they saw them come across the border, and then they didn't even encounter them, didn't, you know, say hello, so to speak.
18,000 known gotaways. These are the 18,000 that they know about. So how many more do we suspect we don't even know about have gotten away?
Oh, more. And that was over a 16-day period, but there's more. There's clearly more. And keep in mind, we're only talking about the southern border. There's the northern border, and then there's the, people coming up on the Florida beaches, and it just goes on and on and on. And this doesn't include the people flying in every day, which is a lot. I mean, we have hundreds of thousands per year now, at least, flying in that are being brought in, quote unquote, legally by this, again, air quotes, government. I mean, I haven't stepped foot in Ukraine during this war or Israel because of, look, if we die, it's over for them anyway, right? And so, but meanwhile, this is, interestingly, now I'm not piecing these two things together other than I noticed it. There's two new camps being built in the Darien Gap. We just flew over them on Sunday.
Two new
and
camps,
photographed them from the sky, and also we've been down there on the ground.
Hold on, before you go into, can you explain what is a camp? When you say we saw two new camps being built, what are these camps? What do these camps do, in case our audience never saw you before and doesn't understand the context here?
Wow. Two new camps. And like I said, I deeply apologize
Eve
for this,
Online is a
usually
vast...
don't even give me ads.
Yeah, that's important. They are waste.
That is
really
wild, y'all.
Camps anymore. They're more like bus stops and boat stops for as people come in from all over the world through South America, and they go through Colombia up into Panama through something called the Darien Gap.
Yeah, I found it.
They go through a jungle there, and as they emerge from the jungle, they go into numerous camps. But now these camps have been made so efficient that they're more like bus stops in the jungle. And so,
that's wild.
Right now, for instance, at La Blanca's camp, where I've been, I don't know, at least 50 times on the ground and in the air, even more, that camp can bring 3,000 to 5,000 a day right now. And then there's other camps. Anyway, and so we've already got a huge infrastructure down there, which is almost saturated. But they're building two new camps, and these two new camps could do another 30,000 per day, right? And they're building these per day. I said, this is and they're adding the bus infrastructure and all these other things. What I was about to mention was these two new camps. I mean, I was just down there doing my thing in Darien, rummaging around, which is what you need to do when you're doing this work. And okay, there's two new camps. This is substantial. And then the Israeli war kicked off. And okay, they were connected in time. It doesn't mean they're related, but it's interesting that these two new camps started being built just before the war. I mean,
wow.
Could be coincidence, but now you have people talking about moving basically Gaza over to the United States. I mean, and over to Scotland and other places.
Holy smokes. So Have you seen? I mean, I know you've seen from our discussions. I think you've already seen Palestinians coming through the Darien Gap. You've definitely seen some of, but now maybe not.
Just think about that. So many different countries coming over because of stuff, happening and stuff like that. It's gonna be so much differences, so much war, so much hate, so many things, so many targets. That's crazy. It's too much going on right now.
Maybe not the huge flood that we could see. Do you anticipate that could be the reason why?
It could be. I mean, I'm not connecting those dots, but those dots are very close together on the graph. And so it's just I'm down here doing my thing, checking the pulse, looking at the geography and how the infrastructure is changing, and then hey, 2 new camps. And we go down and we droned one a couple times, and then we came back with the aircraft and got numerous camps on Sunday, and now you see, boom, the Israeli war.
Unbelievable. And so the idea that we would bring Palestinians into the United States, I mean, God, we're bringing in millions of illegal immigrants into the United States already. We have obviously massive amounts of refugees from the Ukraine war. We're happy to bring them in and to destabilize the United States. We need cheap labor in the United States. We have 1 million manufacturing jobs in the U.S. that aren't being filled by anybody. So we need this labor. So Palestinians coming into the United States, basically a recreation of Gaza in the U.S.?
Easily. I mean, they're already coming across. For instance, Venezuela, there's a lot of Hezbollah down in Venezuela, right? Venezuela has a lot of Lebanese, as does Peru and here in Panama and other parts of Central America. I mean, there's a lot of Hezbollah already here. Not that all Lebanese are Hezbollah, obviously. We
Right.
get that. Our Lebanese friends,
Right.
we get it.
We don't need the emails.
But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, the weird thing is we see a lot of Iranians coming through. A strange thing is, my whole life I always get along with Iranians, and yet our countries are always at war, and they're obviously at serious war, and Iran has very close, and so does China, connections with Venezuela. Venezuela is key to all this, right? A lot of people don't get that. Even people who study the border in the United States don't understand that nexus of Venezuela. Not just Venezuela, but that is a key thing to keep your eyes on. And another thing, I was having dinner the other night with an American government member here in Panama, and he'd only vaguely heard of World Economic Forum. And this is an older guy, and he's very smart. He'd only vaguely heard of it. And I'm like, you can't possibly even dream of understanding what's going on without understanding what the World Economic Forum is. I mean, if you don't understand that, that's like me saying 2 apples plus 2 apples equals 4 apples, but you don't know what apples are, and you don't know what numbers are, and you don't know what addition is. I mean, it's that basic. You have to understand World Economic Forum and CCP and their collusion to understand what's happening. Without that, you can never understand it.
So these 2 new camps being built, you've sent up the drone, gotten photos of these, of course. Have they started? Have you started to see people pouring through these camps as these way stations and getting on buses yet?
I mean, why? Honestly, why? I honestly feel like they are already pouring in. Why wouldn't they?
The 2 new camps are still being cut down. And basically, in fact, I took a contractor from Texas out to one of the camps last week. Just wanted that person's perspective because she just knows these things better than I do. And I wanted her to look at it and look at the things that are being done. And she thought, yeah, these could hold 15,000 each. I took her one camp, and then I just sent her photos of the others because we couldn't get to the second one. She was so the bottom line is that's enough infrastructure for another 30,000 per day. Now, what is this infrastructure? Right now, it's just the Imbra Indians with machetes cutting down the jungle because they just sleep on the ground. There's no plumbing. The rivers are the plumbing, which is what they already use anyway. And then they'll basically they're way stops. So the aliens come through the jungle. They'll go through a place called Nikokli, or Capargana in Colombia, which I've been down there and looked at this. They'll come through the jungle, and then they'll go to these camps called Bajo Chiquito and Canam Membrillo and some other places. And now there's new camps being built next to these existing camps, right? So it's bigger camps in addition to. Now, the Costa Rican and the Panamanian president came down here on October 6th, and they went to Las Blancas camp, which is where most of them feed through after they come out of the jungle. And in fact, I had a helicopter chartered for that day, and our flights were canceled by the Panamanian government because they were landing, the presidents were landing there. Now, the presidents announced that they're going from 60 buses, roughly 60 buses per day to about 200. So about 200 buses per day. But
Now,
that's just getting started
They
as
didn't
well.
triple it.
and so our audience understands these buses are like luxury buses. They're right there where you are in the gap, and they fill up these entire buses with illegal immigrants from China, Venezuela, wherever they're coming from, and they're bussed right to the U.S. border, and they're
That's, bro. Let me be quiet. I've been working on my cussing. I've been this is
given
crazy.
packs, provisions. They're giving like anti-rape kits for the women. They're giving all sorts of things funded by the U.S. government.
So who paying for that? Funded by who?
And then they're delivered right to the front door of the United States. I mean, this is what's happening. And I don't think, when you're sitting down with a member of Congress, they're showing.
So when you go to work every day, and you busting your chops, think about who you paying for. I'm not even sitting there and like being mean about the situation, but it's like, dang, like, it's so many people here in the United States that's struggling, It's so many people. I see so many different videos of people struggling, and people, I just don't get it. But then again, these same people that's struggling, a lot of the same people that's struggling, now they're starting to see. Some people are starting to see, but a lot of these people that starting to see struggle are the same people that voted for this to happen. Not doing their research, following a family member or friend, doing stuff like that, And by all means, like, I feel for people. I pray for everybody, prayers out to everybody, all of that, But at the same time, like, it's just, I feel like we in a bad situation, and we not even talking about just one country. Like, when I first started like knowing like about this whole immigration type deal, I thought it was just people coming from Mexico. I'm not even gonna lie, I really thought it was. Not to mention, I just got into politics 4 months ago, but I really thought it was just people coming from Mexico. It's people coming from everywhere. People coming from everywhere and getting delivered. Not only getting delivered, but luxury buses. They getting clothes, they getting packs, they getting food, they getting, the kits. Bro, this is wild.
Showing them this. What are they saying? How are they allowing this to happen? I mean, how the members of Congress you're speaking to in Washington, are they aware that the funding is coming right out of the U.S. government right here to get these people into the United States?
This is wild, though. Like, I don't get it. Like, I for real I don't get it, y'all.
Congressman Tom Tiffany certainly is from Wisconsin. He talks about it all the time. I took him and another congressman down into the Gap a couple of years ago now, and I get messages from congressmen constantly. This week, probably a half a dozen. I mean, there are some paying attention, clearly. And I'm, trying to, I know they're busy with other things as well. So I'm trying to get it to them in sound bites that are extremely pure and accurate and that they can use as is. And I see them popping up at in the news and whatnot, things that they say, but the bottom line is it continues, right? Let me say something about those buses, by the way. They don't actually go directly from Darien to the United States. What they do now is they used to, as of about 10 days ago or so, they would stop at near the Costa Rican border. There's another camp, which I've been up there and drone that as well. But they would stay there. But now they've opened the border as of about 10 days ago. They'll get on the buses in Darien, and it costs $60, and then the aliens pay, and then they'll go straight through the border at Costa Rica, Panama, and go up to the Nicaraguan border. So now they they have to go through Nicaragua on their own. They'll get and they continue this route through Guatemala, and they'll end up in Mexico, of course, at Tapachula, which I've been down there looking at that, and then they'll come up. They'll be at the United States. So you could literally be in Colombia to the United States. If you're lucky on the timing, you can do it in 10 days, which it used to take months. Now it's like it's smooth. So the pipes are bigger, the pipes are shorter, and they're much smoother. The flow is increasing dramatically.
Imagine they're probably going to build trains next so they can bring them right to the U.S. border. So they get these.
Speaking of which,
no way.
Speaking of which, I just sent you something about the Mexican president. They're talking about the not the bioceanic corridor, that's down in South America, but the interoceanic corridor, in Mexico. This has been something that's been theorized. They've been had it on the plate for, I don't know, 150 years or so. All these old books I read, they talk about, making a train across that thin part of Mexico. But now that train, that's why I spend so much time in that part of Texas, down by the RGV Valley, the Rio Grande Valley, near McAllen, near Brownsville. There's a reason why I spend so much time there. That train will go right through. That's not a train that connects here yet, but it's a train that'll go right through near SpaceX and all that, right up by Brownsville, which is where that colonia is near Houston, north of Houston, right? And keep in mind, there's big ports there in Texas, right? So this I-69 corridor, after it connects with Mexico, goes all the way up to Detroit, where World Economic Forum has a headquarters on the Great Lakes, because they're working to, and that feeds with Louisiana and all these sorts of things. If you look at this, these are all along key logistics trails. It's not just about migration or invasion. That's part of it, and the invasion is being used to open up other routes, and the routes are being used to see. It's recursive, right? So in other words, as more aliens come through the Darien,
this guy has so much information. You can hear it in his voice. Like, he got so much information that he's trying to get out in this short period of time, because obviously, as much as he can talk about this all day, every day, he's trying to get out as much information as he's gathering, and he's gathered. And I definitely appreciate him for giving this information out, because a lot of people need to see. My videos obviously is steady getting flagged and steady getting this and getting that, but I'm gonna try my best, because it's important. I feel like it's important, and a lot of people need to know that regardless.
In Gap, they're making the path bigger, and now they're clearly building a road through the Darien Gap, right? And almost no Panamanians have any clue. I was just down there looking at a bridge they're building near Yavitsa, near the Rio Chuquinaca. Any Panamanians watching this can get in your car and go down there and look at that bridge. As you go into Yavitsa, it's on the right-hand side, goes right across the Rio Chuquinaca, right? And that, look at where it's at. That will connect with Colombia eventually.
Wow.
I just had dinner with a key leader down there, and he's like, yes, this will connect with Colombia. It's pretty clear. And so this is all these routes, these places that I continue to go, like Netherlands, they're all part of the same thing. We've got the alien invasions going to these key places, but these are also the places where World Economic Forum and Chinese Communist Party are colluding to, the World Economic Forum is almost like Genghis Khan. They've cobbled together a bunch of tribes and groups, and they're like, hey, come get your piece of the pie. We'll take Australia, we'll divide it up. And CCP's like, yeah, we'll join with the Genghis Khan of World Economic Forum, right? So you've got these raiders coming in that clearly will eventually take Panama. The Panamanians don't seem to get it at all. They're in denial. They've got a huge pork chop around their neck, and it's right out my window. It's the Panama Canal, right? They got another pork chop around their neck, and that's when this road opens, Pan American Highway, when that finally opens to Colombia, you got two pork chops around your neck. And then just the location alone, even without the Panama Canal, even without the Pan American Highway, is another pork chop. This is a key location for many reasons. So bottom line is, Panama is on the chopping table, and they don't seem to realize that as they continue to open up this route, and they're doing it under coercion, by the way. I mean, it's the United States down here forcing this. A lot of people blame Panama, but the United States and the World Economic Forum, the United States government obviously is captured by World Economic Forum, as is the Israeli government. Netanyahu is a proud member of the World Economic Forum, and as is the governor of Texas, as is Trudeau up in Canada, as are a lot of other people, right? Members of the world. If you don't understand the World Economic Forum, you have zero chance of understanding what's going on. And so this is what's happening. It's a big global play. We've got big currents, and we keep stamping out fires and talking about fires instead of going for the arsonist. I mean, we're never going to put out these fires as long as the arsonists are out here setting them.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I think people really need to look into the Netanyahu WEF connections, certainly look into Governor Abbott's connections, look into Trudeau. Yes, you place these pieces around as young global leaders in different world power positions, in cabinets, as Klaus Schwab has talked about, taking over these cabinet positions. He uses basically the term infiltrated cabinets around the world, in New Zealand, in Australia, in Canada, in the United States, in Israel. This is exactly part of the plan. Michael Yon is a former Green Beret, one of the finest journalists in the world, who's there every day living this and actually uncovering the stories for us that no one else will cover and talk about. Michael, thanks so much. That's
crazy, though. I ain't even gonna cap. Like, that just goes to show you, like, where money is going, what is really going on. I feel like it ain't got so deep, so deep to the fact that it's like, how isn't a lot of people seeing like what's going on? Like, it's so much that's been going on. It's so much that's been going on that I feel like it should be reaching a lot of people. It should reach a lot of people. This is definitely sad, though. Y'all let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Honestly, it's a lot to say. You know, it's a sad thing. It's a sad situation, but I feel like a lot of people here, you know, from the get-go, you know, needing help and needing this and needing that, and money is going elsewhere. Money is going to other countries. Money is crazy. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts down in the comments. Make sure y'all DM me on Instagram, LifeWithRecklezz, or email me, LifeWithRecklezz@yahoo.com, for more videos for you to check out. Definitely much love to y'all. Thank y'all so much for all the support y'all give. Catch y'all next one.